Have you ever wanted to teach kids how to swim? Well, now's your chance. Introducing Sinkies. Similar to regular floaties, you attach these pads onto your child's arm before they enter the water. Contrary to the name brand floaties, these Sinkies don't have air. They have cement. Kids have life too easy nowadays. It's time we made swimming an obstacle. Humans weren't created to swim, so make these kids fight for it. It also serves as post-birth birth control. Sinkies. Just around $11.29 plus shipping and handling. Welcome back to the Peeping Toms.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Braden. Today's topic is
Weird shit.
I'll be talking about Wendigos.
And I'll be talking about skinwalkers. Alright, so the skinwalker. It's a Native American folklore. They were the Navajo outcast, and they were actually criminals too that practiced black magic and can shapeshift into multiple creatures. Like now they're starting to shapeshift into humans, I believe. But they still can shapeshift into coyotes, wolves, foxes, owls, and eagles and crows. So pretty much.
Didn't you say you experienced some weird shit going on in the backyard the other day?
See, I did. There was it was weird because I got rolled up, and then here's my sister freaking out, and I'm like, well, what the f*** is see? Because literally, I'm telling you, this black thing, I don't know what it was.
Shaquise.
Dude, I'm telling you. Dude, it was I was like, yo. Because they said it didn't have a tail, but coyotes don't have, they have long tails. They're pretty much a dog. I mean, they are a dog. But we also have bobcats out there, so I just thought nothing of it. Well, then I thought I saw something on the back of our pond, because we come down it's like a little incline, and then you go to a roundabout, and the headlights are bright enough to shine to the back of the pond. And you just see something. I just saw something out of straight out in front of me, just dip down below. So I don't know what it was. It was just weird. I thought it was tripping.
So if it had a tail, bobcats' tails aren't very big.
No, they're like little nubs.
Right. Can't relate.
But the thing is so these skinwalkers are slightly bigger than what they are, what their actual what actual coyote is. A coyote is size of, it's a way smaller than what a full-grown lab dog is. Right. But it's I don't know. I've only seen 3 or 4 in my entire life. But
could it have been a fox? Maybe
it could have been, but I don't know. Foxes are really small though.
Fair.
But I mean, I've only seen one. The last time I seen one was a bongo, and this thing jumped up in the middle of the air. And they jumped up to the height of the truck and we turned the corner. So we were up super high, and it jumped and nosedived into the snow. That was funny as shit. But they are now starting to become people, which I think they're getting more comfortable with our civilization. So I have no clue what's going to happen next. People are going to start dying from this, or...
Okay, but... Alright. Can they replicate humans? I get they can look like them, but can they actually act like a human?
There's this video going around that I've seen several times of this dude. He was out camping or something, I think, and he walks out into this middle of a CRP ground, which is tall weeds and all that, but these weeds were enough to where he could see the dude, and he was screaming for help, but it sounded like the dude was thousands of yards away. This dude was 150 feet away, and if we were 150 feet away from each other and I was yelling help at the top of my lungs, he'd be able to hear me plain as day. But then there's also that's the only audio I've seen of a person, in quotation marks, screaming. But there's also been reported.
Okay, was he white, or did he look like Shaquise?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I'm guessing Shaquise.
Alright.
But there's also people out in the woods hearing weird noises. I mean, these people out hunt all the time, and they just don't go back out. I mean, it doesn't sound like a Bigfoot situation. Like, he's a bum. You don't worry about him. He's off walking in the middle of the woods or something. I really don't care less. But this is like something no one's ever really talked about, because no one's ever really ran into a skinwalker, but it's getting more and more repetitive now.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, though. There's no direct proof, but there's so many sightings all over the nation that's like, I feel like there's got to be something.
Yeah,
you know?
It's weird how little people know about them until they actually like have a run-in with them. It's a Navajo. I mean, those were like some crazy people in the first place.
Right.
They were like fuck well with clubs and shit. Like typical Indian stuff, like like the Tom and Jerry episode. They've been, farmers, they've been feeling the full effect of it, because they've been killing a bunch of livestock. There's been cattle mutilations, and I mean, not just from, I've heard Bigfoot doing the same thing, but I mean, if you disguise yourself as coyotes do it all the time. If you get a pack of those together, they can one up. I mean, we could go down the road and ask Eli Miller what it's about.
He probably them.
Don't get him started. They're also, so mainly where they've been seeing stuff. I mean, this is also there's this ranch out in Utah called Skinwalker Ranch. There's a whole show on Hulu about it. But it's a whole paranormal thing. I don't know if it ties in with skinwalkers. I've been watching a little bit of it here and there. But they have weird sightings. They have UFOs and stuff out there. This is the Mr. Congable area, conspiracy theory shit.
Right.
Yeah. It's that whole farm is 512 acres, so it's massive. But I don't know what goes on there. I mean, if there's a ton of skinwalkers out there, I don't know. I mean, maybe. But there's also apparently UFOs going on out there. But I don't know if UFOs and skinwalkers tie together. I doubt they do. I'm not into paranormal stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, aliens, I don't know about those guys.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I just can't imagine a balloon-headed green thing with massive eyeballs.
Yeah, it's looks like a nerd.
What does a nerd have to do with aliens?
They got a 65 head, bro. They just keep going on back.
Okay, yeah. Shoot, do you think Mr. Congable's one then?
Oh shit. But they've been seen all around the U.S. I don't know.
Do you know what they look like when they're not shapeshifted? What do they look like? Naturally.
So they're like a human. They're a human with human features, but they have hair going on up their body. They have hair like we do, obviously not. We don't have as much as them.
I get it. So you're saying
fur. They have fur on up their arms, legs, and they have claws, as feet and hands. And so they have coyote skin on the way back, and they're all hairy, and they have fangs and huge canines like dogs would have. Their main creature they like to form into is a coyote.
Okay.
Or just whatever they feel like, pretty much. They do what they want. But they've been seen all around the U.S., where we live, the Midwest. Probably the most boring area you could ever be in. The most interesting thing is probably the neighbor downtown picking his corn. I mean, that's the most interesting thing. There's a lot of sightings going on everywhere, mainly out in Utah because of that ranch out there.
Right.
And out in the deserts, and there has been some here in the Midwest, but I couldn't find any area where. But I'm guessing it's the Midwest, so there's some plains, so I mean it's flat.
It probably wouldn't be a good place for them.
Yeah, I mean there's woods, fields all around. I mean, what do you want? Corn?
I mean, Utah makes sense. I don't like Mormons either, so.
Yeah. But, yeah, dude, they were robbing people since day one. I mean, they were criminals, so, I mean, Sacagawea, give me your purse.
That didn't sound like you were trying to say purse.
I meant to say purse, but
Yeah.
Give me your purse. But, they were practically witches, like the Salem witch trials, like, killing people.
We'll be back after these messages.
The all-new fire extinguisher is not your normal boring red fire extinguisher. This is the all-new 5-gallon bucket. It's just simple to use. You put water in the bucket, till it's full, and put out your fire. Easy as that. The bucket comes with your very own customizations for the total cost of $20. Water is not included. Warning, do not use on grease fires.
So I did a little bit of research on the Wendigo. Some people call it Wendigo, some people call it Wendigo. Unless you're stupid, you call it Wendigo, obviously. Basically, it kind of comes from Canada. At least that's where the lore is. It's from Canada, a little bit into Alaska as well. It's more of a winter spirit, I would say. Like he's more active during the winter times, which is kind of his lore. So basically, the lore is a Wendigo is what I'd say a corrupted spirit. It's kind of like when you're in the woods and it's basically below zero. It's freezing. There's snow. Food's scarce because everything's hibernating or frozen. That's just how it is. And you're with a group of people, and this dates back to like the 1700s. When you're with a group of people and you decide that you're going to take that ultimate sacrifice, and I don't mean die, I mean eat another human being, because that is if you eat another human being, once you start, you can't stop. You're just basically addicted to eating human. And if you eat it so much, basically, it's so corrupting to the spirit that it turns you into this deformed creature that's got horns. You can go anywhere from 7 to 15 feet. If you're 7, you're tiny. We're talking like... Shoot.
Like a newborn baby.
Basically, yeah, newborn baby. Like, if you got a newborn cannibal, I'm telling you, that thing's going to be 7 foot tall. God, I can't imagine having a baby that's 7 feet tall.
Dude, that thing's going to be that's going to be painful coming out, dude.
That's not even a C-section.
Dude.
That's a D-section.
Dude, they got a piece on him, bro.
Okay, so this doesn't exactly relate to the topic, but Wendigos, okay. Think of like a human forearm just hanging between their knees.
Dude, that thing would be like...
Oh, yeah.
Running across the land.
Basically, if you ever catch a Wendigo running, you're going to hear them from a mile away.
Yeah, dude.
I'm saying, you're going to be wondering, like, where's all the applause coming from? And it's just going to be smacking between their legs. That's why the Wendigos are so skinny, because they can't hunt anything because you hear them.
No, but do people actually can they turn into those?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So a Wendigo is a human being that just ate other humans, and once you eat so many, your body starts to kind of morph, and you become really, really skinny. Like, you're so skinny.
It's like you're anorexic at this point.
Basically. Like we're talking, shoot, I don't know, Lindsay Lohan,
Oh, shit.
Like, she's jealous of these things.
Dude. Like, we're talking about, like, Lane Scorpion during wrestling season.
Okay, but he's tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny, but, like...
So there's no way he's a Wendigo.
No, but, like, have you seen him? Dude's skinny.
But yeah, so Wendigos, they're practically anorexic looking. They have patches of fur here and there, but they also have their skin. Like, the bone is exposed over their skin because of how thin they get. So, since they are humans, they don't exactly grow past a certain age. Like, once you reach 25, you're pretty much done growing. If anything, you shrink. But Wendigos, I'd say, like, within a 6-month period, you go from, say, 6 feet to 15 feet. Like, think of the toll that does on your skin.
Dude,
like,
that thing, you're kind of, like, you're going to be, like, stretching out. Like,
right, you don't even have stretch marks anymore.
No,
your skin just tears.
It's going to be a rubber band, like, when it snaps back.
Right, yeah. That's probably why they're so angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also have horns coming out of their head, kind of so they can blend in
like
with...
the goat.
Right. And a big, I would say, picturing of a Wendigo is this big creature with a deer skull. But that's not true. That's just some fan art that got real big. They look like humans if they were stretched out another 9 feet or something.
Yeah. Dude, they could definitely make it in the NBA. Dude, here pretty soon, LeBron's gonna be knocking on their door going, yo, you try to come play for me, player?
Eat them on the spot. So, there's this actual medical condition called Wendigo psychosis. And basically, it's like a mental illness that kind of manifests itself into a hunger for human flesh. So, sure, there's cannibalism, and there are some tribes around the world that are cannibalistic.
So, like, there's this tribe out in, like, the Pacific Ocean somewhere.
Right.
Like, I don't know, like, there's been, like, people have seen them, but, like, there's been a shipwreck. I don't know how many years ago this was, but this Cannibal Island is, like, people that don't, like, they're back, like, Indian style, like, bow and arrows that they homemade and all that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Like, they are not affected by the other world.
Like, they eat people that come to their island because they must have, like, scarce food or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, okay, so I've read some articles saying that there are some tribes that eat, like, the ones that die in their tribe, and they do it from what I've read, they do it for spiritual reasons. They want their lost one to be a part of them forever. It's only going to be a part of them for, like, the next 10 hours.
Yeah, because you're pretty soon they're going to have to go outside and...
Yeah, right. But yeah, so some do it for spiritual reasons, others do it for, survival reasons. And that's kind of what a Wendigo is. They start off eating humans for survival purposes, but kind of end up doing it because they like to do it. That's why I think the tribes that we've seen aren't Wendigos, because they don't do it for survival or pleasure reasons. They do it entirely for a different reason altogether.
So is there, like, any, like, cases in, like recently that have happened?
I would say there were some cases from the 1960s, but they were immediately shut down. I tried to do some research on them, but it seemed like as soon as there was an article released, it was immediately returned and just, I don't know a better way to say, but, like, kind of blacklisted. Just people didn't want to talk about the Wendigos. But
I'm saying.
I think the earliest case is from 1661. It's considered the first known case. This was done by Kathy Weiser Alexander. She
sounds important.
I mean, with 3 names like that, I don't know. Her name's Weiser. She's got to be Weiser.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a professor at the University of, I want to say, Connecticut. But she studies, like, folklore and different cryptids and things like that. And the Wendigos are a form of folklore. They're more from, like, the Canadian side of the world. Yeah, the first known case is from 1661. They're these group of men.
So they're men now. They couldn't be women.
Okay, you want to get on top of this? Okay, Wendigos have okay? Like, 14-inch.
Dude.
They have no balls, just it.
Dude, they're packing more than, like, Barack Obama, bro. I don't know.
Barack Obama. Dude, is that a special type of Obamacare I haven't heard of?
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, so there's these group of men, and they split up because they were out in the woods. They didn't know what was going on. They were trying to learn a new location. This was up in, I want to say, near Alaska. I think they were Russians.
Oh, commies.
This is in the 1600s.
Dude, fuck commies, dude.
Okay. But yeah, so basically, there's these Russian group of men that were exploring parts of Canada that they still didn't know, and they split up. Then they got separated for a couple months, and finally, when one group returned to the other was completely sane, but this one group that had been separated for months came back, and they were extremely skinny. Their hands were, like, basically, like, their fingertips were cut far back to where it's just the bone exposed.
Like, do they, like, frostbite or anything? Like,
well, obviously, yeah, they had frostbite, but what I'm saying is their fingertips were practically, like, the skin was completely removed. All that left was the bone. And so they used them as claws.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, these humans, if you'd call them that, were just rabid animals. And they killed a bunch of the other sane men.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually they all had to shoot down their allies.
Mm-hmm.
And...
They had friendly fire on, dude.
I mean, I'm just saying, they were playing Call of Duty before it was a thing.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, they had to kill them, and they documented it. And the fascinating thing is, it came from 1661,
mm-hmm.
and then, over in the 1800s, like around 1878, 1880, there are these Native American family, right? And the head of the family, the father, his name was Swift Runner. There was this huge winter storm that came by, and it basically just, I want to say, it made him and his family, his wife, his son, and his youngest son, so there's 4 of them, they had to find, I think it was a cave or maybe some hut or something that they had to hide in for the winter. Mm-hmm. But there was no food. See, everything had died or was just frozen, and they couldn't eat it.
I mean, you couldn't just heat the little jackrabbit that you found out in the woods and just throw him over the fire. I mean, I understand it was frozen, but you couldn't just hang him there.
Dude, I'm not Native American. I don't know.
Dude.
But yeah, so Swift Runner, the father, he just got so hungry, and his selfishness got to him that he actually ate his oldest son. And you'd think one human could probably last you a couple of months if you eat it right.
Well, if it was his oldest son, I mean, how old are we talking? Like,
I'm saying anywhere from 16 to 20.
Okay, there might have been a lot of meat on that kid then.
Right. But the father just let his selfishness get the best of him, and he ate his son. Mm-hmm. And at first it was for survival. But then he liked it. And then he ate his wife. And then he ate his youngest. Mm-hmm. And by the time he had finished eating his entire family, this dude was like at least 9 feet tall, skin stretched out to the max. I mean, he was a Wendigo at this point. He had horns starting to grow. And then once the winter ended, it was like almost springtime, he went into the nearest town and massacred a bunch of the townspeople. And finally they were able to shoot him down, but this guy had, not including his family, he had a kill streak of at least 5.
Dude, he had the sentry gun unlocked.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, that was from Kathy Weiser Alexander. If you want to read more about it, just search up legendsofamerica.com. And that should give you a lot more information than what I've written here. I just brought in 2 stories, but she's got at least 6 that she's published.
Oh yeah, you definitely have the degree to figure out what's going on with those entities.
Yeah. So we've kind of discussed our 2 pieces, but my question is, which one's more likely to be real?
To be honest with you, I have no clue. They're both folklore for sure. I mean, we don't know because we haven't had experience with one yet. I mean, we don't know if we can walk outside and see like an oversized coyote massacring like Jace Coxey down the street. I mean, we don't know.
Shoot, he can't. Jace Coxey's not killable.
Dude.
Dude, if you scare him, he'll roll 50 miles an hour. I don't think kites can go that fast.
I don't know. I think they can. I seen one hauling across the field one time.
I thought their limit was like 30 or something.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, Jace, he's got an undefined top speed. That dude, it's not really that he's fast. He just has so much momentum.
No, but I don't know, because this would make more sense where the Navajo was established, where they were around and where they killed the criminals, and because they could have came back if they were magic,
right. The interesting thing is both of these come from Native Americans. Both stories originate with Native Americans. So the question is this real, or was this just a children's story to scare the little Indian kids?
Yeah, see, I don't know, because I mean, some of the stuff they had back then, they would experience this and then they'd hype it up. From what I've heard, they'd hype it up and then the story would just get lost. I mean, all the Native American stories that like people that are part Native American have had, that their great grandfather, Sitting Bull or whoever it was, sat down and told their great grandfather or something. I don't know. There's many greats down the line.
You lost me in the greats, yeah.
Yeah. But there's so many stories that have happened, but they could all been changed.
Right.
So I don't know if the like, I'm not saying they're not fake. I don't know, because isn't there videos on the Wendigo or something?
Right. There's plenty of footage. Obviously, some can be proven fake. Some hasn't been proven at all.
Like, could be like, I don't know, like Ryan Reynolds running around in a suit or something.
Not Ryan Reynolds, dude.
You can tell.
That's the only man I'd go gay for. Come on, don't do that to me.
You can tell that a mile away.
Shoot, you know what? He is like a Wendigo. You hear him clapping along the way. Yeah, but still, I can't tell which one's more likely to be real. I would say, with all this proof and evidence, both seem likely. I would say that skinwalkers do seem more likely, just that there's no real proof as to how they would come to exist. Whereas Wendigos, the proof that we do have can be contradicted based off the cannibalistic tribes. So,
but like you said, the Alexander girl.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a report how the dude was in a cave. Like, could he? Like, is it possible that they hide out in caves? I mean, I can believe that if they hide out in caves, because there are a ton of caves, everywhere. Like,
well, I know what they do is when they hunt and they don't want to eat their prey just yet, since they're so tall, they'll hook them on tree branches.
Kind of like that Supernatural episode.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, basically, since they're so tall, they do take advantage of their surroundings. But whether they hide in caves or in trees, I couldn't tell. I'm 5'8". I can't even look up.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I feel like they definitely do live in caves somewhere. Like, after you mentioned that to me, I mean, I start thinking about it, Caves make sense. It's cold, and no one's going to ever go in there. Unless you're some weird cave diver, I don't know.
True.
But same thing with the skinwalkers. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing they are real because there've been sightings of them. But we don't know if we've seen them, or I don't know if I've seen them, because if I've saw them, because I hunt in the fall. I mean, I sit out in the woods at 4 a.m. in the dark. So I don't know. I mean, I fall asleep for 2 hours in the woods. So I don't know. If something would have killed me, it would have done it a long time ago.
I'm thinking there's definitely something out there. And it's been cited, but it's never been like, HD footage or really, really solid footage. So I'm thinking they either are genius and know how to hide from the camera, or they're just really
It's like Bigfoot.
Right. The problem is you've got so many posers out there wearing monkey suits, and it's like, you're shying away from the actual thing by trying to create something new.
Yeah, like, we don't know if he's real. I mean, I'd love to know if he's real or not. Like, how much money I can get paid for that shit. Like, you're about to go out there and drop a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I'd love to know if this stuff is actually, like, legit, 100%. Like, I obviously don't want to roll up on, like, a Wendigo and get my
Yeah, I don't want to meet either of them.
I mean, skinwalker.
I mean, I'll clap your ass.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Sorry.
Trying to build a new school with all these bricks, man.
Of all buildings, why a school, man? That's so wrong. But yeah, so... Okay. I would say... Personally, you kind of convinced me. Skinwalkers are probably more likely to be real than Wendigos. So, I guess we'll just leave it at that. I would say skinwalkers.
I mean, it makes sense, because I don't know if anybody can grow to 15 feet tall.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, unless we want to try that. You want to be the test subject?
I mean, I could grow a couple inches.
Which direction?
Horizontally?
Oh my God.
Well, I think that's a good place to end it. Again, you've been listening to the Peeping Toms. Catch us on our next episode when we discuss if Dora's head is really that shape.